I'm so excited.
I've tied the front to a rock.
What a melodrama this morning's been.
Ooh.
I can officially say this was the best detour ever.
No camping allowed, and it's 20 to 10. This is why I do it.
Hello, you beautiful lot. I'm back at the coast. And I'm so excited for this hike. There is just something about a coastal hike that, it just resets my soul. I don't know if it's because, like, obviously I'm from Cornwall, I live near the coast back home. So just the smells and the sight and the sand, and it's just all beautifully familiar to me. Or whether it's just because it is so freaking beautiful and we all love a coast path, but I'm so happy to be at the coast path for this hike, and fingers crossed away from tarmac. So this is called the Lindisfarne Way, and it is my 6th hike. It starts in North Berwick and it finishes in Holy Island. Let's do it!
This trail is slightly different to some of the routes I've done so far on my long walk home, because this is a pilgrim's trail, linking up various Christian and Celtic sites and following in footsteps of patron saints across Scotland and England. It begins here in St Andrew's Kirk, built in the 8th century out of wood and reinforced in the 12th from bricks and mortar, until unfortunately a storm destroyed it and it was rebuilt further inland. The first mile of this trail is absolutely stunning, following the coastline of North Berwick. However, after a while, you will find yourself back on tarmac, following the John Muir Way. I decided at this moment in time to save my feet and detour back to the coast. Because I'd already completed that final section of the John Muir Way a few days before, I didn't feel too guilty rearranging the route and hitting up the coast, doing a similar amount of miles but on more comfortable terrain. This is more like it, Tantallon Castle, the mighty cliff fortress of the Red Douglases and guardian of the Firth of Forth.
Look at that for a beautiful castle.
But you can still see it from the outside, and the views are just amazing.
I'm finally back on the beach, guys. Yes, she is, away from the tarmac. That was a bit of a mission. Wow, so I'm not really sure if there is a route here or where the route goes. I couldn't kind of see anything on the map. It does look like there's a golf course coming up as well, so I think I'm kind of going to have to wing it, but at the moment the tide's only coming in. High tide I think is 3 o'clock, and it's 1 o'clock now, so I'm going to hopefully hug as much of the sandy coast path as possible. And just take in the beautiful views. I am going to stop and have a little bit of water and my lunch though. I've got jam sandwiches for lunch today, guys. The hostel I was staying in does a free breakfast, and because I didn't have a chance to have the brekkie this morning, turned it into sandwiches. So jam sandwiches for the freaking win. You just can't beat cheap jam on cheap bread. I mean, there's not much nutrition going on here, but lovely. So I can officially say this was the best detour ever. Look at this! Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. And it's warm, like genuinely. I don't even need my little bandana on my ears today to protect myself from vertigo. It's lush. Oh, I feel a bit emotion. After this morning's drama, this is just perfect.
I followed the coastline for as long as I could until the tide made it impassable. I detoured through some beautiful ancient woodland to link up with the Lindisfarne Way once more. This is the exact same route as the John Muir Trail, and it follows the tidal estuary all the way to the beautiful town of Dunbar. From here I walked along the tidal wall to that night's wild camp spot. And here we have
this little gem sheltered on most sides. Alrighty, this is the bit that I am going to pitch in tonight, and I've been so lucky because on 3 sides she is sheltered, and although the path that way is rocky, I reckon I can get the pegs in most of the way, which is amazing. Because the bathtub on my Nemo has failed, for those of you who haven't watched the John Muir Trail video, I've used her probably for 14 nights, because obviously I've had some dorm rooms and zeros and things, so she's had basically about 14 camps, and the bathtub underneath has already failed. It's actually absorbing moisture from the ground beneath it. My friend Ash over at Ash Outdoors sent me this. This is just some roofing felt, because I'm refusing to buy a Nemo specific ground sheet. I'm pissed off. So anyway, this is about 200-ish grams. It's not the lightest, but that's going to go as a base underneath my Nemo tonight, and hopefully it will keep the bathtub dry. Fingers crossed. So I've managed to find a sheltered place out of the wind, and I've got a ground sheet. Take your bets now. Is anything else going to go wrong with the tent? So as sod's law would have it, the ground for the very front peg is a bit too solid, so I've tied the front to a rock as well. This side's also struggled a tiny bit to go in, but the rest of us solid, so we got this. And here she is, my little pitch for the night. I haven't put my bedding up or anything yet because the sun is setting and I really want to get on and cook food. So tonight I'm actually going to be making some kind of like fake beef wrap. Right, this might not look grand, but it's going to taste grand. We've got soy protein mince, same stuff you'll get in mostly rehydrated meals anyway. Rehydrating in there. With a chili con carne, sachet for taste, and then wraps and some hemp seeds for extra protein. Doesn't look the greatest, but I can promise you it tastes pretty darn nice and it's really high in protein, so cheers to that. And this view. Here she is. I feel like on trail you have to get super inventive sometimes, and yeah, when you have limited ingredients or just dehydrated stuff and cereal bars, you gotta go with what you're working for. But this, with like, oh my gosh, a nice bit of lime, a little bit of salsa, maybe some vegetables in there, you're laughing, mate. Happy days. Got a burrito on trail. With that gorgeous tint in the sky, it's time for me to go to bed. Good morning. It is day 2 of the 4th to Farne way, and I slept so well last night. I needed that good night's sleep. I think I fell asleep around 10:30, woke up around 4:30 to the sunrise, and I noticed the golden glow coming through the tent, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get up and watch it. So yeah, watched the sunrise for about half an hour and then went back to sleep for a bit. But I was warm for once. Oh, the temperature is finally changing. I'm now further enough south that the weather's getting warmer anyway, and I'm also chasing late spring, early summer. So I took my hoodie off. I was just in my thermals and my puffy, and it was nice. I find you really start to appreciate the little things when you've been on a trail for a while though. So like a good warm night's sleep, a wind-free shelter, gas to cook your food on, enough food to stop you from being hungry, water that doesn't taste like shite, enough water to cook your food and not be dehydrated in the morning. These are all things that I think a lot of us, especially in the first world countries and in the West, we take for granted a lot of the time. And yes, it's a pleasant reminder of how
what I'm viewing as a struggle some days right now is people's daily existence. It's quite humbling. Beautiful waterfall. Now on the Lindisfarne Way, you'll go through a little village called Coxburn Path, and it's about a mile, kind of a figure of 8 detour. And the aim of this is to go past some beautiful chapels. However, if you are just using the Lindisfarne route to head southbound purely on the joggle, you technically don't really have to go into this town, this village, if you don't want to. However, there is a really cute community shop and a public toilet, so it's not too bad of a detour. Now that is how you parent. I think it's probably 2 families, 4 tents, isolated beach. Scotland, I love you. This sheep, it's halfway through its molt and it looks so cute. Yeah, I'm complimenting you, buddy. Alrighty, your girl is going slow today. It's about 6:30 and when I checked my mileage around 5, I'd done 13 miles and I left at 8:30. So I've really tried to mission on proper power walking this last section because basically, usually I try and free flow and I try and aim for 20 miles a day and sort of compensate here and there listening to my body. Don't know why I'm so slow today. Like I haven't had any symptoms of an illness, a tummy bug, blocked up nose, headache or anything. So yeah, I just seem to be incredibly slow. Not sure why. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is in 2 days' time, I need to hit the correct tide times to walk across to Holy Island and walk back again. Holy Island being at the very end of the Lindisfarne Way. And obviously I need to get back off again because I'm back in England then. You can't wild camp on Holy Island and accommodation's not the cheapest. So yeah, need to get off there. Apparently they're quite strict about it. I do have a little wild camp spot eyed up on a map in some woods about 7 miles on. So basically to be able to finish this trail in time, I need to be 6 miles from the end point by tomorrow. It takes me about 30 miles. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to push on and then skip down onto the coast path just outside of Coldridge. And then in the morning I'm going to skip back up and do the 2 miles that I should have done to get to that area. The reason for this is because it goes St Abbs and then Coldridge and it's just villages in between. It doesn't look like there's anywhere I can pitch. And I had a little look on Google and there's some public toilets with what looks like a bit of flat ground. I'm just going to see if I can pitch there. There are a couple beaches and alcoves along the way that you could potentially pitch in. The problem is with this tent, because it inflates like a balloon in the wind, I can't risk pitching on a beach. So if I had my MSR with me, totally do it. If I had my lounge stand with me, I'd probably do it. Cloud Peak too, done it many a times before. Absolutely grand. This one, I don't think she's going to manage it. Those guys up there have an epic wild camp spot. Looks like they've got the MSRs, mate. Couldn't do that in a Nemo. It's not as bad as Gorseception on the John O'Groats Trail, but wrong day to be wearing shorts, Bex. Ooh, God. Ha. Anyone want an exfoliation treatment? Walk through a gorse bush. Right, how am I going to tackle this? Phone's away for that one. Survived it! Oh, headband's back on now. Getting cold, so like I said earlier, protecting those ears. Beautiful, isn't it though? Look at that. Alrighty, it's time for me to brave it. First cow field that I have no way of avoiding to cross. Okay, here we go. I chickened out. I managed, to be fair, to face my fear for a good 5 minutes. But there's a bull in the field, there's calves in the field, and then I think they've also got the little young lads that they're raising for veal. And so about 100 metres away from me comes this like cow with horns charging at another cow with horns, and then a third one joins in, and I'm like, as boisterous as you guys are, all you've got to do is turn that attention to me. And I'm squished. And then I just see this other cow in the distance start walking towards me, and a couple other cows join it, and I was like, fuck this shit. Like, cows sense me, man, and then they follow me, and then they get excited, and then they get faster, and then I've always managed to climb over a fence or a gate or something before they've actually charged. But usually, like some little calf bucks or something, they get excited and then they pick up their pace. And yeah, not today, mate. I'm not having that today. So as soon as it was more likely that I die from a cow than a cliff fall, I hopped over the fence. She can wild camp on her own, hike the length of the country, but literally pushes a turtle's head walking through a field of cows. That's a lovely imagery, isn't it? Sorry. So this is a cool little pop-up museum all about St Abb's Lighthouse. And this is another one of the 200 across the Scottish coast. And if I came here earlier, I could have charged up my stuff. There you go, cheeky little plug socket, guys. Now that there is a beauty of a wild camp spot if I had water. I arrived at the village of St Abb's shortly before sunset, passing another beautiful church. This place was apparently named after a Northumberland princess who washed up on the shores and joined a nunnery here. It was absolutely beautiful, and I found a local who gave me some water. But my luck changed again very quickly after. Fuck. No camping allowed, and it's 20 to 10. Shit. So this is where I was looking at pitching for the night, kind of up on the sand over there. But I've just read a sign saying it's a £200 fine of camping. So sun's already set. This is 20 to 10. It's quite late. I've left it late, guys, but I've managed to do 20.5 miles, so I've picked up the pace. Oh, look at this for a chance find. Some people have obviously been here before, had a fire. Leave no trace, guys, come on. But other than that... Oh, yes, mate. Alright, baby wiping all of the sheep's poo off me before I get in my tent. I decided I'm going to dip my feet in here to give them a little bit of a rinse. Do you know what? That actually feels so good. Oh gosh. Maybe I'll sit here and drink my morning coffee because the sunrise I'm easterly facing. So it should come up behind that bridge. Once I'm through this gate, I am officially in England. Gonna miss you, Scotland. And woke up around midnight to like footsteps. I've hit mile 500. I'm so happy.